everybody. It's a little bit after 10:30, Sunday morning, September 28th, and I am almost to Lake Hartenstein. I'm going to try to get 2 12ers off the list. One of them I've already done, but it was a very, very quick up and down. Did not really get to enjoy the summit all that much. It was last year, about a month, maybe a month and a few days. Oh no, it was less than a month after my accident with the deer on the Cottonwood Pass Road. Just rang a little bit hollow because after the wreck I kept having to rent cars, kept getting late starts, and the summer just did not go as planned. So this go round, whenever I get the chance, getting much earlier starts. Much happier about that. And yeah, so I'm going to do that one again. And this one right next to it. I'll show you guys here in just a second. Yesterday I did Storm King Mountain Memorial Trail. I did not do the mountain, but I think I see a way up, or saw a way up. But okay. So today, that big chunk of rock right there is the 12er that I haven't done yet. One kind of right beside it I have done. That was the one I did last year on my birthday. And we'll see how it goes. I'm hoping that the scrambling, the second one from the, well, in the order I showed you guys, the first one from the second is not too technical. If it is, I'll turn around, and if I have time, I'll go back and hit Turner Peak, my favorite mountain, right there, that one right there, Turner Peak. Heck of a weekend. But just thought I would give you guys a quick shout. And look how beautiful this meadow is with all the trees and plants starting to turn. And behind me, we can start to see. It's a little tough. Let's see if that does anything. There you go. There's some blue sky. Get that back there. By the way, that's Mount Yale. Immersed in the clouds. So, yeah. I will report from the summit. The first 12er. They're almost 13ers. Okay? Calling them 12ers is almost insulting. In fact, the second one may be a 13er. But as far as I can tell, neither of them are named ranked peaks. But it is what it is. Alright, I'm going to sign off. We'll chat at you later. So that is the summit of where I'm going, but I don't know if you can still see it, that rainbow right there. How cool is that? Right up against the mountains hanging in the clouds. We just got some snow, just a little bit. You can see the weather completely cooperating with us, but not bad. No lightning, and it seems to be clearing up, so it's good. Just a few minutes from the summit, and we will check in from there. All right. We're just steps away. I'll let you guys come with me. Little bit of a talus field here. That's what we're about to scramble up. Stay for a few minutes and evaluate choices. But we're basically there. Oh. You can see right there, it's Turner Peak. 3 years ago, 3 years and some change now actually, I summited Turner, and I dedicated that hike to my second cousin that we had lost to an overdose. And after his memorial, when my dad and I were down in Florida with the family, my dad and I went parasailing, and on that parasail they gave us the little bracelets that they use to signify which boat you're supposed to go out on. And I kept that bracelet, and I kept it on until, well, I tried to keep it on until I summited, and I was gonna just ceremonially burn it in a little tin can up at the top in honor of Soleil, but the adhesive came off before then, so I didn't technically burn it for him until I got home. But the point being that hike was dedicated in honor of someone we lost. And even though this is the second time hiking this peak, since last year, I had learned that an not old acquaintance, but an acquaintance of a few years ago that I had started to get to know just a little bit, had a son who passed away from childhood cancer. And I did not know that he had passed away a little while ago until just a couple of months ago. And I was talking to a mutual friend who said, "Hey, did you know that Courtney's son, Beckham, passed away a while ago?" And the news shook me a little bit. Courtney was a server, and I would go and sit with her, especially when things weren't terribly busy at the restaurant. And we would just sit and talk for a few minutes here and there. And just in the few minutes we would talk about life, about jobs, etc. And then it was in the middle of COVID, and we talked about COVID and whatnot. I could say that Courtney was one of the most genuine people I'd ever met. Just kind. And no child should ever die of cancer. That is first and foremost. No child should ever die of cancer. But it especially breaks the heart when you know he was being raised the right way by good people. People who loved him. People who were instilling good values in him. People doing life the right way. It's especially devastating. And so, in my own little meager way, I would like to dedicate this hike, officially summited on this almost 13er peak. We're at 12.9 and some change. But even though this is not as tall as Turner Peak, the route from Lake Hartenstein, which is down there, is absolutely grueling. Much more grueling than I realized. I was hoping to take a stab at this ridge and get a little practice of class 3 climbing in, but with the weather, the time, and how much I'm spent from getting up here and from yesterday's hike, I don't think I'm going to do that. But I would like to dedicate this summit in honor of Beckham, in honor of Courtney. No child should ever develop a disease as horrible as cancer. No child should ever have to struggle about the finality of death so soon. No family should have to bury a child so young. But through the social media reports that I've seen and the posts and the connections that Courtney has made over the last several years, there has been nothing but an outpouring of love and support in honor of Beckham. And his life held more value in terms of the number of people he has touched than many people will in their lifetime. And so, Courtney, I just want to say, I could never imagine your loss. I could never imagine what you've gone through and what you're still going through. But know that you were loved, and that Beckham was loved, and that his life still had a phenomenal impact on the world around him, and you're still having a phenomenal impact on the world around you. I can't imagine the strength you have to do what you do every day, to get up and fight this fight. All I can say is that for your friends, your loved ones, and the people who care about you might not be able to carry the weight the same way that you are carrying it. But at the times when you are at your most vulnerable and at your most weak, reach out to a friend, reach out to a loved one, lean on them a little bit, even if it's just for a moment. You have all the support of those around you. And so I dedicate this hike to you and Beckham. And I hope that this reaches you and brings just ever so small an amount of comfort as I can give you. But know that you're cared for. God bless everybody. descending, and I just want to soak in this view just one more time. Video does not do it complete justice. The vibrancy of the colors to the naked eye. Very strong. Fall has definitely arrived. It was snowing 40 minutes ago. Probably could snow again. That's why it's time to start descending. Look at that view. And good old Turner Peak. An old friend. Princeton and Antero. Back shrouded under clouds already. But those green trees against the brown and yellow soil with the bushes turning. It's beautiful. Beautiful. Huron stills sticking out over there. It's gorgeous. All right. Just wanted to show you guys that one more time. Alright folks, public service announcement. Just outside of the lake, on the way down, coming down the trail, and two dogs pop out from a tree right in front of me, and one almost bites me. Two people, whose dogs they were, started calling for him, blah blah blah, and I didn't make a big fuss. They got him under control pretty quickly. But I love dogs as much as anybody. One of my sister's dogs, I'm its human. I love dogs. But if your dogs are not trained and socialized well enough to not attack people, you keep them on a leash or don't bring them. It's that simple, okay? If you're gonna be a responsible trail hiker with dogs, make sure that they are socialized and or trained enough to the point where when they see a random person walking down the trail, they don't get territorial and attack that person, especially when that person has not approached their humans in any sort of threatening or menacingly way. So, public service announcement over, rant over. All right, we'll check in a bit. One thing I don't know that gets focused on enough is how beautiful these flowers are. And here we are down at the parking lot. Yay. What a day.